What's happening, everybody? Dave Bowen. And today, as you can see here, I'm going to give a little brief introduction to alchemy, also known as the great work. And also want to clear up some misconceptions about alchemy. But before we get started here, I want to say a few things that, as the great Pythagoras once said, and let me pull the exact quote out of here, because this is very important with alchemy, and is one of the reasons that it has been veiled in symbolism, so that way the uninitiated could not discover the secrets of alchemy. And here it is right here. Okay, so, having departed from your house, turn not back, for the Furies will be your attendants. Pythagoras here warns his followers that any who begin the search for truth, and after having learned part of the mystery, become discouraged and attempt to return again to their former ways of vice and ignorance, will suffer exceedingly. For it is better to know nothing about divinity than to learn little and stop without learning all. Okay, and that there leads me into what alchemy truly is, okay? But I wanted to make sure that you understand, before I get into revealing some secrets about alchemy, that unless you're prepared for what you're about to encounter, then you might as well, if you're not prepared, you might as well exit, get out of here now. No offense. Maybe do some more research, some more spiritual research, and then come back to this video. But it's very important that you have good intentions with this video, that you're not just looking to learn how to turn base metals into gold for material reasons and selfish reasons, because that's not what alchemy is. And a lot of people don't understand that. And, you have to understand, well, according to, ancient records, alchemy is as old as mankind. The Kabbalah has a legend that when Adam was banished from the Garden of Eden, the cherubim that was at the Garden of Eden, or Gabriel, or one of the angels or higher archangels, revealed to him all the secrets of alchemy. And the Kabbalah also has a legend that, basically the entire Old Testament is nothing but an allegorical reference to alchemy. Okay, it's a bunch of stories and allegorical things relating to alchemy, which hence makes sense why Nikola Tesla said that he discovered not electricity, but a lot of the electricity stuff that he did, and free energy and things like that, through the Old Testament, through Moses, through the Exodus. And that makes perfect sense why he said that. And if you don't believe me, just look up some Nikola Tesla quotes about the Bible and the Old Testament. But anyways, it's not really what we're talking about today. Alchemy is as old as mankind. I do believe that. And you have people like Hermes Trismegistus or Thoth that are most known for alchemy and the great work. Okay, and that's hence where you get the Hermetica. And it turned into a whole genre, which a lot of it isn't necessarily alchemical, but it turned into a whole genre of literature, the Hermetic literature, and even Hermetic arts, and we even talk about hermetically sealed, and that's where we get that term from. But might as well start out with this, I guess, is the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. Okay, and one of the most well-known translations is from Isaac Newton, which, for those of you that don't know, even though Isaac Newton was the founder of physics, he really was more focused on alchemy than anything else. That was his main focus, was alchemy. A lot of people don't know that. But anyways, this was Isaac Newton's translation of the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. "'Tis true, without lying, certain and most true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below. To do the miracles of one and only thing. And as all things have been and arose from one by the meditation of one, by the mediation of one, so all things have their birth from this one thing, by adaptation. The sun is its father, the moon its mother. The wind hath carried it in its belly, the earth its nurse. The father of all perfection in the whole world is here. Its force or power is entire if it be converted into earth. Separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, sweetly with great industry. I'll read another translation that'll hopefully make, this is Old English, but I'm trying to turn it into current. But anyways, let's see, it ascends from the earth to the heaven, and again it descends to the earth and receives the forces of things superior and inferior. By this means you shall have the glory of the whole world, and thereby all obscurity shall fly from you. Its force is above all force, for it vanquishes every subtle thing and penetrates every solid thing. So was the world created. From this and do come admirable adaptations, whereof the means or process is here in this. Hence I am called Hermes Trismegistus, having the three parts of the philosophy and the whole world. That which I have said of the operation of the sun is accomplished and ended. And here is another translation, a more recent translation from Madame Blavatsky, H.P. Blavatsky, which wrote Isis Unveiled, which is one that, a book that I highly recommend getting. Anyways, and this translation goes, what is below is like that which is above, and what is above is similar to that which is below, to accomplish the wonders of the one thing. All the things were produced by the mediation of one being. So all things were produced from this one by adaptation. Its father is the sun, its mother the moon. It is the cause of all perfection throughout the whole earth. Its power is perfect if it is changed into earth. Separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, acting prudently and with judgment. Ascend with the greatest sagacity from earth to heaven, and unite together the power of things inferior and superior. Thus you will possess the light of the whole world, and all obscurity will fly away from you. This thing has more fortitude than fortitude itself, because it will be overcome by every subtle thing and penetrate every solid thing. By it the world was formed. Okay, and you can actually get these this translation. There's a bunch of different translations from sacred text, sacred-text.com, and I'll put a link below my video and all my blog posts that I'm going to do with this. But there's a lot of cool text and stuff on that. You can also get, which is another book I highly recommend getting, the Hermetica. And actually I have this book for sale on eBay, so I'll put a link below this video to that. But this is the best English translation of the Corpus Hermeticum and the Latin Asclepius, which are really the only known existing Hermetic writings from Hermes. But back down through the ancient records and historians, they talked about 42 books. Some even talked about 10,000, 30,000 books, which I think are more symbolic, but there's no doubt that there was more Hermetic writings than what we have today. But anyways, those are a good start. Also, I recommend, I've got a book cover on this, but it's The Secret Teachings of All Ages from Manly P. Hall. He goes into a lot of all the secret teachings, which, really all the secret teachings lead to one thing, and that's the goal of alchemy, the Philosopher's Stone, the transmutation of base metals into gold. But you have to understand the allegory, okay? They're not literally talking about, even though they did transmute, base metals into gold, lead into gold, they did do that. But what their main goal is they thought that they knew that if they could, transmute lead into gold, lead symbolizing the lower consciousness of man, and into gold being the highest consciousness of man, then they could transmute man into the divine being that he's meant to be, because we are divine beings, and that is what the Hermetic, Hermes teaches in the Hermetica. We are divine beings. We are higher than the angels. We are not lower than the angels. Man was not, the fall of man is not real. That was created by the church. Those are the dogmas that so many people, like myself, are getting sick of, and it's what led me on this journey in the first place, is the ridiculous dogmas of the church, that if you don't believe in what the church says, you're going to hell, and that's absolutely ridiculous, okay? It's absolutely ridiculous, all right? But anyways, that is the great work of alchemy. It's to transmute man from the material world to where he belongs in the divine spiritual world. Okay, that is our reason for living on this earth, and that's what alchemy teaches. And I love the way Manly P. Hall puts it, because I've been saying this, and you got to understand, this book was written in 1928. Manly P. Hall lived from 1901 to 1990. So they knew this, and this is stuff that he got from ancient philosophy. He, to this day, the PRS, Philosophical Research Society out in California, has some of the largest library of ancient, rare texts, philosophical texts, all kinds of different texts that Manly P. Hall collected. But anyways, I love this. One of the great axioms is within everything is the seed of everything. Although by the simple processes of nature it may remain latent for many centuries, or its growth may be exceedingly slow. Therefore every grain of sand contains not only the seed of the precious metals, as well as the seed of the priceless gems, but also the seeds of the sun, moon, and the stars. As within the nature of man is reflected the entire universe in miniature, so in each grain of sand, each drop of water, each tiny particle of cosmic dust, are concealed all the parts and elements of the cosmos in the form of tiny seed germs, so minute that even the most powerful microscope cannot detect them. Trillions of times smaller than the ion or electron. These seeds, unrecognizable and incomprehensible, await the time assigned them for growth and expression. Okay, and that is the goal of alchemy, is to get that seed to grow forth. And see, I don't know how many of you believe in, and it really doesn't matter, but we call it reincarnation. It's re-embodiment, whatever you want to, multiple lives, whatever you want to call it. But it is true. Okay, we do live multiple lives. Only if we don't learn the lessons that we're supposed to learn and break free from the wheel of karma, as the Buddhists call it, the wheel of necessity. And it's until you find the Philosopher's Stone, which is the great work of alchemy, that you can break free from that wheel, break free from the material world, and go to where you are meant to be, which is as a divine being in the higher spheres of reality, okay? The real reality. Because what we think of as reality, this here is not reality. This here basically was put here for us to learn what I'm teaching you right now, a basis of what I'm teaching you right now, which is to unlock the power within you, because see, every single one of us has God within us, and that is why Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. And there was another one. In the Bible it says, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. And all the ancient mystery schools, they talk about, dying and rebirth. That was the part of the initiation, okay? And Freemasonry today still does that same thing. When you go through the first 3 degrees, they talk about the story of Hiram Abiff. If you've never heard of this legend, Hiram Abiff was the great mason that King Solomon, when he was building his temple in Jerusalem, got to be the grand master of that temple, the grand master of all the masons building that temple. Well, he was the only person that had the secret keys to the ancient knowledge, of Freemasonry and the ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom. Well, there were three people which are supposed to represent thought, action, and feeling. I forget. Anyways, you can look up the story online. This is the legend of Hiram Abiff, but I believe it's thought, action, and feeling. But anyways, they wanted the secrets. They were selfishly wanting the secrets, even though they had not, come up far along enough in their work to be able to get the secrets. So one afternoon, when Hiram Abiff at high noon was at the temple giving praise to his God, one of the Hierophants went and asked Hiram for the secrets, and of course he denied. He said, "I cannot disclose those to you. You're not prepared for them." Well, he struck him, and basically, long story short, the other one did the same thing. He struck him again. The last one did the same thing. He struck him in the temple, and he died. But anyways, that, and then he was supposedly, waiting to be raised again until the great secrets were, were revealed, and it's the legend of Freemasonry. But it's very interesting because along with the legend of Osiris, there's all kinds of them, all kinds of different legends, Orpheus, or whatever it is, all talk about raising Jesus, raising from the dead. Okay, now I'm not saying that Jesus didn't raise from the dead, because he did. Okay, that was part of the great work. He had accomplished the great work. He had gone from a material being to becoming a divine spiritual being. And Jesus told us in his teachings that one day we were not only going to do works as good as him, but works better than him. It's right in his teachings. Okay, and that's what he was talking about. He was the forerunner of preparing the great work for everyone, because for so long it had been concealed for the uninitiated, for the ignorant. But anyways, Jesus was the forerunner for us to begin this great work ourselves. But so many did not get the true meaning. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is get this book, the Nag Hammadi Scriptures. These are Gnostic texts that were found in a library in Egypt, thousands and thousands of years old, at least 2,000 years old, most of them. But inside these texts, guess what's in there? Some of the Hermetic writings. What is Hermes most known for? Alchemy. Okay, alchemy. So these people, these Gnostics, okay, which were like James, which was actually Jesus' brother, Peter, Paul, Judas. There's the Gospel of Judas in here, which is very interesting. Has a totally different story of what we're told in the Bible. What else? All kinds of people that were original founders of the Church of Christianity, okay, wrote these books. And if you know who Irenaeus is, he was the one who declared heresy. If you look up the history of Irenaeus, his against heresies, he was calling these heresies. But read through them and you'll see they're not. They're far from heresies. They're some of the most important texts ever found. The knowledge inside these texts is unbelievable. And also what's in there is Plato's Republic. Plato was also a well-known, not necessarily alchemist, philosopher, and he went through the great work. And later on in his life, the last 10, 15 years of his life, which we actually have no written text from for some reason, Plato went from being a philosopher to a spiritual person. He realized that philosophy is only a step towards the great work, and becoming spiritual and ascending to the higher spheres and evolution, of man, which every human being on this earth has the right, and that's the meaning of life, should be, evolving into a spiritual person. Okay. But anyways, yeah, and I recommend getting this. This is amazing. I've only read a few of them. It's super long, like 800 pages. But, it's just kind of like a Bible in a sense. You can go through and just read whatever you want. But there's a lot of good stuff in here. The Gospel of Mary, Jesus' mother. And like I said, that Gospel of Judas is extremely interesting. But some other books I would recommend getting, like I said, is Isis Unveiled. You've got to remember, this is just an introduction. We will be doing more videos on alchemy, but Isis Unveiled by H.P. Blavatsky. I recommend getting an older version if you can. This one's from 1976, because a lot of times what you'll run into is that the texts have been changed purposely, or things have been omitted from them purposely. So if you are going to get Isis Unveiled, either get an older version or make sure that it's coming from the Theosophical University Press, which is the university that H.P. Blavatsky founded. There's actually two books, Science and Theology. It's about 1,200 pages, but the information in here is priceless. Also, any of Manly P. Hall's works, especially his Secret Teachings of All Ages, or Lectures on Ancient Philosophy, Lost Keys of Freemasonry. He's got a lot of books, a lot of good stuff. But I think that's really all I have today, guys. Basically, the message of this video is to get you to realize that you are a divine being, okay? You are a divine being who has a purpose for being on this earth, which is to perform the great work, not only for yourself, but for your fellow man or woman. When I say man, I mean man and woman, okay? And that is the reason we are here. That is the reason we are here. And as I've said in most of my videos, people have been asking this for thousands of years. Why are we here? What is the point in life? Well, I can tell you, this is the point in life. And if you study alchemy enough and you get through the veil of Isis, okay, hence Isis Unveiled, if you get through the veil of Isis, you will discover some amazing things like I have that will help you develop as a person and develop into the person that you're and being that you're supposed to be, that we're supposed to be, okay, which is divine. We're meant to reconnect with our divine selves. So that's all I have today, guys. Peace, love, namaste.